Hey guys, it's Mr. Schmidt here, and in this video we're going to look at something called the quantity theory of money. So, in the AP macro course, this is a very, I don't want to say weird topic, but it's something that you're not likely to see on the AP macro exam, but it does come up, I would say, a little more frequently than time value of money, so let's go ahead and cover it here. And so basically the quantity theory of money is an equation. Okay, and that equation is M times V equals P times Y. And so what I'm going to do is explain what each of these letters stand for and what the theory is getting at here. So the M is the money supply. Okay, so we talked about that in the last video. The amount of money that's available to people, that's out in the wild, in the economy. Okay, the V is a new term. This is called the velocity of money. And this is how often money changes hands on average between people, right? So every time a dollar changes hands, how many times is that happening? That's the velocity of money. Think of money like a car here. How fast is the car traveling? How many times is money changing hands? The more frequently money is changing hands, the greater the amount of times a dollar is spent and then respent, that is a greater velocity of money. So that's one side of the equation. P is what you would think it stands for. That is price level. And Y here, we're just going to call that output. Okay, what's being produced by the given country. And, something we can note here really quickly is that P times Y, that is nominal GDP. If you take what a country is producing and express it in that year's prices, that is nominal GDP. And so we're saying that the amount of money in the economy times how often that money changes hands is equal to nominal GDP. Now, something else to note is that we tend to make the velocity of money constant because basically, like, the amount of times money that is changing hands per year tends to stay pretty well constant. And so really what we're saying here is the money supply is equal to nominal GDP, right? That's what we're saying here. And so by changing the money supply, we can change nominal GDP. We can influence the economy, its production, by changing the money supply. So again, we're kind of just laying the groundwork here for monetary policy and using the money supply to influence GDP. So this is another way to think about it here. We also, you'll see it referenced that output is sometimes held constant too, because the value of production really doesn't have anything to do with how much gets produced. So another way to think about this is basically M equals P, where if you increase the money supply, you're basically just increasing inflation. And we talked about when we did inflation, how in Germany, 1920s, Weimar Republic, how they were printing too much money and the inflation just went through the roof. So there's kind of a cautionary tale here in the quantity theory of money about, not wanting to increase the money supply too much because of the direct effect it will have on the price level and causing rapid inflation, even hyper inflation. So this equation, I would just memorize it. Sometimes they will give you parts of the equation. You got to solve for the variable that's not there. Sometimes they'll just ask you what the velocity of money is, what it means. So nothing too big here that I would worry about. Certainly, it is not very frequently tested, but just something to be aware of. So that's all for this video on the quantity theory of money. Until next time, have a great day.